So your team is making a presentation on.
Good afternoon, sir. Our team is working on a service that captures three signatures and provision of protection through encryption. We have named our service as Bharat Crypto Sign. In our previous meeting, we have already discussed how to capture these three signatures. So we have built a process flow diagram that will be shared with you. So in the first step, the petition will be launched by the user and it will be successful only when the three signatures are entered. And this block will entirely be stored with date, time, location stamp. And this will and the hash code will be finally generated and the block is securely stored in the database. Now, sir, this will be viewed. This has to be viewed by the SHO. So, my question is, in our application, there should be a provision where the authenticated person can have a choice to select whether he is an SHO or SP or other official. So, how should we do that, sir? Using the QR code or the OTP?
It will be basically how to really explain. First of all, when you are capturing signature, it is the victim himself, right? So a person who want to lodge FIR, he has to put his signature first, right? And as I have explained, that it will be having multiple signature. One is a signature where we said it is a photo signature. Then second is optical signature, and third signature is Aadhaar card verified OTP signature, and third is virtual ID based Aadhaar verified signature. So these are the four category, and all of them they will belong to basically to the victim. Is this point clear?
Yes, sir.
So the OTP would be provided by the concerned person. So first of all, say person who is taking a photograph of the individual, it will be through the app. So the app is capturing, that is the guarantee, and date and time and location stamp. That is the another guarantee that this person's photograph has been captured through the app with a date and time and location stamp. Uh, then same would be putting the optical signature. So there will be two way. Either it would be the screen of your smartphone, or second could be a signature pad attached to desktop, as may be the situation, right? That is the second way of getting optical signature. And the third signature, that would be uh, OTP verification. So the person has to give his Aadhaar number, and OTP would be generated, and this Aadhaar based OTP verification, that would be a verification service. So for that we have to really integrate the Aadhaar based verification process, as it has been done in various establishments. So we will also be doing like that. Is this clear to you? Am I?
Sir, my question was if the SP or the SHO wants to look at all the FIRs, so how are we going to see if the authenticated person only is able to watch all, see all the FIRs? So, should we do that with the help of the QR code or the OTP at that particular moment? Here we are not talking about the user or the complainant, but we are talking about the SP or the SHO.
Yeah, there was some connect. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, so there was some connectivity issue at my end. That was the reason of not really getting voice. You have to understand, it will not be the QR code based or any of that kind thing. It will be by through the geofencing. Okay, and then we can even think of if any additional integration of the QR code is also doable. Is it making sense to you? Say basically, we know where is this place is belonging. The geofencing will identify the SHO of that place. The profile and ID of the SHO would all be available with us, and we will be knowing ID details of the concerning SHO, right? So it will be rooted making use of the profile, and that is already available with us. Whether I am in position to you to really explain it properly, let me know that whether you really understood it the way I am trying to do that. Till I am basically fixing your camera also on pad. Okay, so is it okay? Could you get the idea how you would be fixing SHO? Because from where you will be getting QR of SHO?
Yes, sir.
Basically, your area where this incidence is falling, that has to be sensed through the geofencing. And the geofencing would be available whereby we will identify the SHO. Now, SHO ID is already available. So whether as the things and report and everything is moving in and out from SHO, so this will also be accessing the profile of SHO on the desktop. So there will be a fine tuning. We are making a committee for this kind of the fine tuning, so that then the technical team and you people will deliberate how exactly it has to be fixed. There will be two sources of identification of the SHO. The person who is taking FIR, right? He will be telling his Thana and details, right? We are having details of the profile of SHO of concerning Thana or police station, and the mapping will be done through that profile. Am I clear? Am I clear or not? I am not in a position to hear you. Pani plau, bete, chai plau.
Yes, sir. It's clear. The thing is, will the
Do
police
you,
of
do you, do you still have some issue? Do you still have some issue, or you feel it is resolved? I am saying, do you still have the any issue, or you feel it is resolved?
the audio is lagging a
Am I-
bit, sir?
Okay, I am asking a very simple question. Uh, uh, Whether we are in position, or you are in position to hear me, or you are not in position to hear me.
We are able to hear you, sir.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I will basically increase my volume also. Is it better now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fair enough. So, in any case, FIR has been captured. So, FIR will give the detail, which is the Thana. We will be having a database whereby all the details would be available, and that's how through the API of Citizen portal we will be entering into the CCTNS portal. For that purpose, we have made a team of few officers, and we will be opting for the technical officer for that. They will be facilitating this aspect to you, because you have to really do a lot of movement from there. So your system, not only the capturing, so basically, as you said, your problem statement would be having three partition. First partition, you wanted some extension in the signature. So I have given you that extension, that first part, that is extracting ID of a person. It means some ID document has to be captured, number one. Number two, the address document has also been captured. So we will be having a authenticated document for his address also. Okay, that is the we can say it is the identity part of your project. The second part is the signature. So all four signature, we will say it is the signature part of the project. Now the third part, that is the processing. Matlab how exactly now you are having FIR which has been captured by your friend, that your this business will be integrated with the FIR which has been captured by someone else. And your one group is already working under SIH 2020. They have made the presentation also. They have created chatbot, and they also created the animated virtual police station, whereby FIR would be captured. So now you are having the FIR. They will be putting some artificial intelligence to identify the sections and to identify other things. So there will be content of FIR, there will be sections, and then there will be act. That part they will be doing in any case. They are likely to capture this name and other details also. But we wish that we should have some supporting document for his ID and some supporting document for his address. So these two things will be your part one. Second is the forced signature, that is the part two. Number three, the processing whereby your this FIR plus the all signature, they have to move, right? Because then everything will be integrated in one document, and that document has to move through a channel, multiple channel. So first will be after taking signature and everything of the victim. So from app it has to go to citizen portal. So there will be handshaking, API based handshaking between app and citizen portal. Then citizen portal is already having API based relationship with CCTNS. So making use of that bridge. Here citizen portal is just a bridge, because they are not allowed anybody else to access. So we are trying to access CCTNS, making use of the citizen portal. So citizen portal, for us, we are not interacting anyway with the citizen portal. It is just a bridge which is being used. So we will be entering to the citizen portal, and then we will be using API connection of citizen portal with the CCTNS, and then we will be entering into the CCTNS. Right? Now, when we enter into the CCTNS, here we mean we are entering into the profile of SHO, right? And then whatever will be happening, we will be having one senior SHO app, then we will be having senior officer app. So our app would be, after taking that photo, this FIR, after being signed by SHO, then it will come back through the same route to our app, to our database. And from our database, it will be pushed to the SHO, it will be pushed to the supervisory officer, and those supervisory officer will be identified through the mapping process, because the area of jurisdiction of each authority, it has already been geofenced, or it will be geofenced. So there's a thana, there's a one thanedar, which is called SHO or station house officer, or some short term, sometimes we use the word SO, that is the station officer. So that is the second part, right? Then you have the thanas, they are grouped together, and that is called a circle or subdivision. So whatever it is coming, the another app, supervisory app, would be basically integrating all information from our portal or our database, and it will be configured on their app. So Deputy SP would be in position to see all processes, all whatever the crime and everything is happening in his area of jurisdiction. Then similarly, it will be true for additional SP and SP also, and the same will be true for the DIG. So DIG, IG, and even DG. It means it is just question of then integrating of the police station that can be done through the mapping. So we know this. These are the police station under this subdivision. These are the subdivision under this SP, and these are the districts which are under DIG, and these are the DIGs under IG, and this all IGs put together will be under the DG, and that's how we will be doing a mapping. So it is a very simple. It is just a mapping. Yeah, it may be sounding a little difficult because you are not familiar with it, but it is a very easy thing. It is just question of integrating. And basically, since those apps are being created by someone else, so whenever you will be requiring, you will be placed to talk to them so that your system journal should flow seamlessly. Are you fine till this point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Or you want to ask anything about this?
Sir,
So, sir, in short, all the SHOs will have their particular ID that will be stored in the database. So that database, we'll have access to that particular database, no, sir?
Basically, that database will flow to you, will be map available with you, and you would be having the API-based protocol to access that. Because without that
Yes,
permission and protocol, you cannot really access that.
Okay, so our application will be a standalone application, no, sir? Or should we derive our data from other services that other students are making?
Basically, what I was having in my mind that say identity जो है ना collection or address collection, your signature collection, these are the two back end services, right? So wherever we need to have the signature, wherever we have to have that identity, whether we have to have the say residential address or any other address, this protocol will be standardized as the backend service. So each and everybody should not really bother for capturing the same. So that I have given the name backend service, and I am open for any other terminology which you might suggest to us, right?
So, sir, can we make?
Yeah.
So, sir, can we make a fully functional, responsive website instead?
That will be absolutely better, no issue. But still, even when you are making fully functional application, it means you will be then creating SHO app, you will be creating supervisory app, then you will be creating investigation app, right? So we will guide you for that. If you are ready to, I mean, there's no harm. But even this work has to be integrated and has to be made available to the other people. Otherwise, everybody has to travel the same route. So I appreciate your willingness and your keenness, because to develop a full prototype. But even when you are developing the full prototype, where you are developing basically SHO app, you are developing investigation app, and the name of the investigation app we have given is Smart Investigation App, right? And this Smart Investigation App would be a dynamic app. The moment in FIR we are capturing section, from the section it will have a remodel itself, so that they need not to make selection. There could be the two way that app may behave. Number one, based on the, say, we are giving the different tabs, and you can say this is a rape, so you will tap that rape, and then it will be having whole process that what need to be done in case of investigation of a rape case, right? Or if a murder case, then what need to be done in case of a murder case, or if there is an assault case or theft case or a robbery case or a a cyber crime or even money laundering or any financial fraud. So those processes would be there in an investigation app, right? Here the app we are talking, it will be, but I feel that you can just develop the prototype. The details could be developed by the individual specialization. And if you wish, then I would like that you should have little more number of the team, so they can focus on those smaller part. Because otherwise, you will be requiring a lot of time to do that. And basically, what we are thinking that in shorter period, more number of the people should be integrated. They should create thing, and then later on we can integrate them again, so that we can create some facility which might be requiring a year or two, or sometime even 3 years. The same work, if it could be done in 45 days or not later than 3 months. That is my way of looking at it. Are you getting my what exactly I am expecting out of you, and why I am doing so? Basically, I am deliberately cutting things into pieces, so that we are in position to achieve our objective in a shorter duration. That is the only reason. I mean, it is a very selfish reason on my part, because we want to integrate lot many institute, lot many things, and though it will require little coordination and things like that. So, if required, that those team members will be for shorter duration, they could be even brought into the same group, so that they can talk to each other, they can resolve their doubts, and if there's a say something which is required for the handshaking, so even those group can talk to each other. That kind of the things will be done when we will be ready with the product and when we will be working on integration. And you have to understand the whole process. The process is you are not only pushing it to the SHO. SHO, if he puts the signature, it is a very simple process. It means he is agreeing to the content of FIR. The moment he puts his signature, it becomes a full, it is called legally acceptable FIR. Because the legally acceptable FIR, it is having three components. One component is the content of FIR. The second, and when we say content of FIR, it means all the details about the crime, how it has been committed, and all those kind of the details, name of the victim, and if the name of the suspect or anybody, including application of sections and law. That is all put together. It will be a content of FIR. Then the second part comes the signature business, or identity business, residence business, and signature business. That is the second part. And now it has to be rooted. So our process of routing, had it been a very simple kind of the protocol, it would have been very easy. Ke app se app baat ho jati. Lekin now it is not that simple. We are already developing, or we are discussing with what we can say, that CCTNS is already in place. It is functional for last more than 5 years. And that CCTNS is having lot many handicaps. It is not really very smartly designed, and those kind of the handicaps are there. So taking data from the CCTNS, we have to do a lot of processing to make it more intelligible, so as to make it more sensible. So we have developed many modules to do that. Many of the modules, they have already been developed to help us out in that process. But we have to understand that we have to interact, we have to deal through the CCTNS only. So we have to push our data to the CCTNS, and that process may be cumbersome, may be difficult, but that is the only way open to us. Because that will be only the legal platform where we have to reach out and we have to get signature. So we may get his signature from the SHO app also. But even if we are getting the signature through the SHO app, still we have to route it and put it into the CCTNS database. Because FIR has to sit in the CCTNS database. Is this point clear to you?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Clear. Okay. Now, if SHO, say you are reaching to SHO, that is one part of it. let's say that you have reached to the SHO through the two options. One option is the app, and another option is the CCTNS desktop, right? So let's presume we are having the access to both. Now, if SHO is on move, he can use his app, and when he is in Thana, he can use his desktop. Let's presume we should be ready for both. If SHO recognizes and honor whatever the content has been pushed to him, and if he put his signature, our job is very plain and simple. It means FIR is complete. Now our job is to take back that FIR. It is already in CCTNS. Take back that SER and it will sit in our database. And from our database, it will be propping up wherever it is required. So it will be available to the deputy SP. It will be available to additional SP because it will be configured as per their area of jurisdiction, right? Then it will be available to as a icon on the app of a victim app also, or community app also. So it will be available over there. Is it clear to you? Okay. Then we will be even capturing the other status from CCTNS, and then they will be made available on the app of that person. So he would be in position to see what is the progress which has been made, right? So that is one part. Now let's go back to the FIR. If by any reason SHO feels that he is having some issue and he does not want to put his signature on FIR, that is the most critical part of your job, basically. That is called the processes. So you have to understand, because your third element is the processes which you have to complete. So the third processes would be, then he has to write the reason why he doesn't agree that it is a FIR, why he does not wish to sign. So he have to come out with the speaking reasons. Once he does that, now the whole content, it means content of the FIR, content of say your signature business of the victim, and then the reasons given by Thanedar along with his signature on the reasons, the whole thing will be pushed as a document to the SP having the jurisdiction. This SP will be again identified for the area of jurisdiction which has already been mapped. Don't worry about the mapping; those details will be available to you, right? So now it has to be reached to the SP, and SPs also can access through his app. I feel because app would be easier for him, so he will prefer to access it through the app. But in any case, it will be simultaneously available on the CCTNS also, so he can do that business through the CCTNS also. Now, again, he is having the responsibility. Again, here my request, sir, that you please see this section of law also. So you Google it up, so that these sections should not sound mysterious to you. So it is written in that section 154(3) of the CRPC that SP, if any complaint is not lodged by SHO, then the same content can be sent by the post or by any other means to the SP, and SP will take his cognizance, and he can either investigate himself or he can depute anybody. Even he can depute one head constable also under him. And the moment that even head constable, if he is deputed as an inquiry or investigation officer, he will acquire the power of SHO. It is very important provision of law. So if he puts the signature, our job is over. It becomes FIR, right? Again, then that FIR will be taken back to the complainant app, and he can access that FIR directly through the app. If you want to take printout, the app will permit him to take the printout of that FIR. So he will get that FIR in physical format, which is having all digital signature and everything. Now, again, as we have done for the SHO, we want that the same thing should be available to the SP also. And if he is having certain reason not to sign or put the signature, and if you want that he is having sufficient reason not to acknowledge it as an FIR, so then he has to again write the reasons as it has been done by the SHO. Right? Now, the moment he refused the registration, the law does not give this power, but we are giving this power to SHO. So, the moment he refused the registration, the whole content will go back and will be available on the app of the victim. And it will say, this is the content which discloses the FIR under this section. This is the reason given by SHO, and these are the reasons given by SP. Now you have to take a call whether you want to pursue or you want to drop. If victim say drops, it means the whole process will come inoperative. It will cease to proceed further. It will be closed. Matter will stand closed because complainant has opted not to pursue it. If he feels that he wants to pursue it, then the system will generate kind of the affidavit which will be taken to the court, and it will be taken to the court under section 156(3), read with section 190 of CRPC. So you read this 156(3) read with section 190. That gives that the magistrate having the jurisdiction, he can also order registration of FIR. So 154(3) permit SP to order the FIR. Here in 156(3), it is the magistrate who has been given the power to order the registration of FIR. Right? So once the magistrate orders, it will be taken back, and that automatically now SHO is having no other option, but he has to put a signature, something like that. And then it will become a formal FIR. Now, the third part will have these many processes, howsoever cumbersome they may sound, but that is the law, and we do not have the liberty not to follow it. Am I crisp and clear to you? It may be sounding little tedious to you, but as the law does not allow us to behave differently, so we are having no other option but to do this way. Is it okay?
Sir, I have a few questions.
You can ask as many number of questions as you want.
Yes, sir. Sir, suppose if the complainant has decided to withdraw his complaint, so will that FIR sit in the CCTNS or will it be discarded?
It will not be treated as FIR, but the content will sit there. So if somebody want to see that some FIR had come, which has been refused by the SP, by the SHO or by the SP, so as a incidence which will not be treated FIR, but the incident has taken place. Report had come. Historical fact cannot be changed by us. But whatever the event, it will not enjoy a status of FIR.
So will we have
or what we can do? It will become the part of our database. It will not become the part of the database of the CCTNS. Now, CCTNS is the official database. Our is unofficial, or our database is a database of the National Authority for the Scientific and Technical Assistance in Investigation and Detection. So our database is a help to the police, but the CCTNS is the police database. Now you have to understand the two databases. Our databases are doing a lot of calculation, a lot of things we will be doing so as to help out a police officer. Right? So
yes,
what I feel, it will not sit in CCTNS database, because CCTNS database is, or it will be recognized only as FIR. So since it could not get the signature of SHO or SP, hence it cannot enjoy status of FIR. And since it is not FIR, it will not be in that section. CCTNS is happy to store it somewhere. We have no objection to that. Otherwise, we will say you need not to store. It will become the part of our database. But because we will be interested to store to find out what is the situation, where it is being refused, whether there's any phenomena, we might even order some research on it. This is the content. Some social scholar may conduct the research. What could be the reason why complainant has withdrawn? Somebody has threatened him not to pursue. Somebody may gunpoints will say, withdraw your FIR, otherwise I will shoot you. So, authority may like to conduct those kind of research, those kind of analysis, so that if later on we feel something need to be done to help out a complainant, because we will not like that somebody under the fear of culprit or in the fear of the offender, they should not withdraw their FIR, because we intend to support the victim. Rather, we can even threaten a victim. If you are withdrawing, we will treat that you have earlier lodged a false FIR, and we will take the content for prosecuting you under section 182 and 211. So I will again request you read these two sections also. These are sections 182 basically. It says that when somebody is reporting something to the public servant with a view to use his power to be used against someone else. So here it will be treated the victim or complainant was trying to use the authority of the police against the opponent when he was not right. So I feel you have very right. Ask this question. We will do this. Okay, if you want to withdraw, it would not be without consequences. It means you are not right. Then I will prosecute you under section 182 and 211. So now I am revising my instruction. Earlier I said that we will be closing it. We will not be closing it. Now we will be taking for the prosecution of the complainant under section 182 and 211. So again, it will come under the due scrutiny of the court. If there is any element of the coercion, that will come in court, and the court may take the cognizance and may try to help out the victim. I think this is a very good question which has helped me to revise my own guidelines. So in the since there is a revision in my guideline, the concept note has to be improved to this extent.
Yes, sir.
Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Because with your question, I have revised my earlier direction. My earlier direction was that if the victim chooses to not to pursue further, what I said, it will cease to be inoperative. It will cease there itself. But now we have revised our instruction. We said, by lodging a complaint to a police officer, you try to misuse his power against the third party, and this is an offense. And this is under offense 182 of the IPC, read with the 211 of the IPC. So we will try to prosecute complainant for doing this crime. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Sir, can you repeat the IPC? Was it 211? IPC 211.
Is this tenable to you? Understood by you?
Yes, sir.
I could not see any expression on your face. Have you understood me properly? आप
Yes,
मुझे
sir.
ठीक ढंग से समझ गए हैं बच्चे?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. From your facial expression, I can see that you feel as समझ गए हैं. But I will appreciate if you say vocally, yes, understood.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Any problem in process part?
No, sir.